10th District Congressman Scott Perry and former news anchor Janelle Stelson met in their only debate tonight in the closely contested race for Congress. Thanks for joining us for Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Evan Forrester.
And I'm Amy Lutz. Tonight's debate took place in Harrisburg, and that is where we find Fox 43's James Corrigan, who attended the debate. James, the tone of tonight was really much different than the Senate debate you saw just last week.
It was, Amy, and it was just last week in this very city where Bob Casey and Dave McCormick really pulled no punches. There weren't quite as many punches thrown tonight between Congressman Scott Perry and Janelle Stelson, but there were key exchanges which demonstrated the differences between the two candidates to the folks watching at home. There were moments of both contrast and agreement in the only debate between Republican Congressman Scott Perry and Democratic challenger former news anchor Janelle Stelson in their hotly contested race for the 10th District seat in the House. Perry attempted to tie Stelson to the policies of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, policies which he says caused inflation.
What can we do about it? We can quit bankrupting the American people and quit bankrupting their government.
Stelson says she would not vote for excessive spending in the House, even agreeing with her opponent at one point.
We need to look, we need to take audits. You know, that's one thing I certainly agree with my opponent on, that we need to take a closer look at how America is spending its money.
Stelson spoke to Perry's opposition to abortion access, including his support for the Life at Conception Act, which would have banned all abortions nationwide.
And there's no reason why Scott Perry knows better than they do what to do with their own bodies in their most intimate health care decisions.
Perry says he remains pro-life and that the states should decide whether their women should have access to abortion.
We can do both things at the same time, believe and stand up for the sanctity of life, but also allow the states to make their decisions as they should.
Stelson attempted to label Perry as extreme and out of touch, even amongst Republicans, while Perry defended many of his votes as trying to limit spending.
He is the only one in the entire state that has a fairly conservative Republican delegation who voted against housing homeless veterans.
I don't know what lobbyist or Nancy Pelosi or whoever's talking to her, but I read the bill and I served in uniform.
Perry afterwards was questioned on whether he would vote to certify this year's presidential election, which he did not do on January 6, 2021.
If there is a proper, fair election, I'm absolutely going to vote to certify.
Now, Stelson did not speak to the press after the debate, but she did speak to trusting the mail-in balloting process this year and did bring up Scott Perry having his phone taken by the FBI after January 6, although Perry says he was never the target of an investigation.
James, before you go, was there any word at all about a potential second debate ahead of next month's election?
Well, there will not be a second debate, Amy. Janelle Stelson tonight in her statement after the debate claiming that Scott Perry pulled out of a second debate, although that would have taken place on the network that Stelson herself worked at for 26 years. Live in Harrisburg, I'm James Corrigan with Fox 43 News.